to Code with Gabriel section. On the last modules we talk about string objects, and in these modules we are going to be talking about number methods. So we talk about string method rather in last videos, and these modules we are going to be talking about number methods. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So let's actually clear this up. We are going to have a let's num in short, which is a number equals to 23. Then we are just going to go ahead and do the console.log of the num. So let's press F12. I refresh this, and you can see you just have only 23 display here without any additional information. There's a workaround to actually go ahead and turn this this number into an object in JavaScript, which we can just do together by using the new number equal then 23 like that. So let's just refresh this, and you can see we are having a number in form of objects right now, and if we click on it we have the prototype of it, which is number, and we can see some kind of extension class some kind of extension attribute or method, we call it, that number has. Let's click on it. So as you can see right now, we are having lots of them right now. So we have the constructor, which is actually the normal constructor for any class we are having right now. So we have the max self integer, max value, meaning say we have a lot of information right here. So we have negative, we have on the other hand, we have is infinite, we have is integer, we have is not a number, NaN, we have is safe integer, we have parse float, parse int, and from there we also have another prototype that is going to take us to lots way of other prototypes that we don't even want to go. Let us close this up. Let's check to exponential. So to exponential, to fix, to local string, to precision. So from to precision we also have some other prototype. We have the lot of information right here, so I'm just going to look for the ones that we are going to be talking about. So we have a lot of prototypes right here again. We have set program, save this. We have, so the first thing we actually go, let's go inside this constructor. We have some other information for us. We are going to be looking at is not a number. So we are going to looking at is not a number. We are going to be looking at to precision. We are going to be looking at some lots more of other prototypes that we have in the number itself. Okay, enough of that. So the first thing that we want to do is not a number. So if we go ahead and say is not a number, so let's just put this in a way that you are going to understand. So I don't want to put this in a console. I'm just this document, then I'm getting the element by ID of outputs, the inner is shown to be equals to this. So if we do is not a number, so is not a number is just going to go ahead and return a boolean value to us, checking is truly this variable a number or is not a number. So let's just go ahead and refresh this. Let's close this up and refresh this now. So we have false. So it's actually a number, so that is why it's actually giving us false, because the value we entered is actually a number. So that's one. So let's just do the num dots. So when we actually press dots, we can see a lot of other methods that actually ask that we can go ahead and put in. So let's just go ahead and try to manipulate this number and put it in some way. The first thing I want to do is like we want to do to float. Let's do to. I'm thinking of the first one to do to precision. Okay, math. Let us do it to precision. Maybe to precision, yeah. To precision like that. Let's go ahead and refresh this. So we have 23, not really doing anything much on the number method. Let's see. Okay, we can have numdots to string, so we can actually turn it into string. And let's refresh this right now. It's still going to have 23, but the value now is not actually string. Let's create another one. Let's call it string num is equals to num dots to string. So we can now go ahead and use the not a number to check if it's actually now a number or a string. Is not a number. So we can just go ahead and check the string num. You can see, so right now we have it in a different, it's not to string num is not a number, yeah, it's actually not a number because this is false, it's not a number, so it's supposed to be a number, like it's not a number, so it's actually a string right now. We can validate that by checking it like string num dot, sorry, type of string num. So if you refresh this, you can see type of string num is actually string, so it's no longer a number, it has been converted into string. So while we are talking about numbers, there are very little method in number. We can actually go ahead and check the math method or math in JavaScript right now. So math is very important in JavaScript, so we can just do the syntax just like math dot. So the math dots can actually be used to do a lot of things. You can see we can get the maximum, we can have the sign, we can get the sign out, we can get it, we can actually do a lot of things. We can get the time, we can get the square root, we can get the round, the power, and so on. We can get the log and so on like that. So let's just go ahead and turn this into float. Math floor, sorry, into floor right now. So math floor of the number. So we know that this is just a kind of a decimal, so we need to convert it into float before we can actually get the floor. So the floor is just going to come down to the nearest integer, so it's going to come down, not go up to the nearest integer. So let's just do it like 6 7. So we know that it is when we talk about math dot floor now, so we are bringing it down. Let's see and refresh this. So the floor is actually 23. So all we do is that we try to bring this down, since it's not actually up to 24, and it's just come down to the floor. So to actually get the highest one, we can do math.ceil number. So ceil actually goes up, so you can see it said 24. Now the value is now actually 24. We can go ahead and get the square of the number, and you can see this is actually the square value of the number. There we can do some other mathematical functions on it like that. So that is actually how we can go ahead and work it. So we can round it up to its nearest integer by doing math.round to math.round num. So we want to round it up to its nearest integer, so is 24. So the nearest the round and the ceil always work the same thing, like is 24 actually in value. Okay, so that is actually some kind of a method that I'm going to show you very quick that are very important that we can do with math itself. So there are a lot of methods that we can do. So right here we have a lot of them. So let's just change it. What of marks? I don't know, of number. Maybe it's just going to, so it's not actually going to display anything than just putting the value up, because they are not actually kind of a what's it called, object number that it can actually go ahead and fetch the maximum of it. But we can do it like, okay, num let num2 is equals to 24. So we can just do max of 1 comma num2 like that. So let's see which one is going to get for us. So now it's actually getting the 24 for us to actually be the maximum. There we can go ahead and do the same thing for the minimum. So you already know the answer, guys. So if I refresh it, it's actually 23.67 for the minimum. Okay, so we can actually try to raise a number to the power, sorry, to the power of, so we can put it on the, sorry, let me just clear this off. So we can actually put it on the power. So we want to put the num on the power of 2. So right now we're actually putting on power of 2, so that's 24 times, I don't know, that's just power of 2 to exponent value of expression return the base expression to take a specific power. Yeah, it's actually raising it to the power of 2 now, so we can decide to just put it on power of num2. Alright, so that is actually it now. So when we are trying to just do this, we can see a lot of things is actually pumping up right now. We are actually putting on number. These are the kind of math method, not a number method, but it's actually a math method. So number actually has a very few method, but math actually takes over a lot of the place like that. We can also convert a number to a string. I think I've did that before by doing it right here. So we can do some kind of mathematics functionalities here. What if we actually have a question that say we should go ahead and look for the biggest number in this arrangement of numbers, or we can say we should just go ahead and look for some kind of thing. Like, let's do it like that. So let's solve this question. So let's say we don't have all these, we have just alright, let's num to be equals to an arrangement of numbers. So in this array of 24, I'm just going to give a random number. I'm just going to give it like that. So we just want to go ahead and look for the minimum, which is actually the smallest one of this number. So if you refresh this page, we can see it's not a number. Okay, and that's it's actually not a number. That is because we are having all this value as an array, so we need to continue to loop through it one by one before we can actually go ahead and utilize it. Like, we need to continue to use one by one. So instead of just putting it like inside the array, I can just grab all the number and set it as a parameter for the function of minimum, like that. So we can eradicate these guys. So all we have right here, that is just like we have the mass.minimum, and we are having this list of an array to tell it to us to actually check which one is actually the smallest. You can refresh this, you can see it says 23 is the smallest, and we can go ahead for the max. Sorry guys, max. If we refresh, you see 776 is the max. So that is actually how we can go ahead and do lots of things with math.number method. Okay, math method right there. Alright guys, so go ahead, dive right in the next section. On the next tutorial, we are going to be talking about array in JavaScript.